Hey, it's Yearbook guy Nabil. I hope you've been having a fantastic start to your day, and I hope it ends well for you as well. Hey, I wanted to just jump into to a bit of a conversation that has been happening for quite some time, and I get asked about it a lot, and that is text in my yearbook. Do I really need to have it? Well, that's up to you, and really it's up to you and your yearbook team. Is it important? I absolutely, wholeheartedly feel that it is, largely because your yearbook really needs some context. And that context is important for future us. Again, remember, the yearbook that we make today is for future us. We want to be able to look back on it and reflect upon really what the year that it was and that time in our lives, that time in history, and that time as a piece of legacy for your school. So when we look at text, there's really some common elements that are really, I guess, integral when it comes to putting your yearbook together, and that's things like the headline, the subheadline, the body copy, captions, and even pulled quotes. So let's take a look. So your headline, generally, when you look at it, your headline is something that needs to be consistent, not in the text, but in your structure for the headline. So when you use a headline, that headline should be usually a set font size, and that font size should be used throughout your book. So should that font type. The font color can change, and that can change based on what colors you're using for your yearbook. And when we're looking at it, that headline really has some important pieces to it, and I've drawn that out here in this document. Now there's also a subheadline. Subheadline, kind of the same thing. When we look at the subheadline, we've got a number of different aspects to that as well, and that really works in conjunction with the headline. One of them certainly can be the eye catcher, and really pops out the story, and the other really kind of gives us a bit of an idea as to what we're going to be reading into. And you can kind of somewhat flip and interchange those a little bit. Not quite what I've shown here in this document, but just keeping that in mind. So knowing some of the rules, we know that we can break some of the rules as well. So your subheadline, like your headline, should have its own font and its own font size. Body copy, which is really the storytelling of the yearbook, that itself is really quite important as well. Again, that's one of the biggest aspects of adding context to your yearbook. When we look at body copy, again, it should have its own font and font size, and that should be consistent throughout the book. We look at captions, and those are the little pieces underneath or beside photos that really kind of help tell the story of that photo, which is a bit of a snippet or really a snapshot of what's going on in that two-page spread, or if it's a single page. The last one is pulled quotes, and pulled quotes or pull quotes are ones that we don't see as often, but I'm seeing them more often now than I used to. Pulled quotes are great as they really kind of help draw the reader's attention, and you kind of use that piece of text almost as a graphic element to grab people's attention. So let's have a look at what we're talking about. So here's our, again, headline, the subheadline, body copy, the captions, and the pulled quotes or pull quotes. And what does that look like on a page? Well, when we look at doing something along those lines, and this is just a quick mock-up, our headline generally should be about 48 point font, and this is just the font type that I've used. Subheadline usually about 36 point, and again, the font type that I've used. The body copy is usually about a 12 point, and again, there's a bit of a range, and those are documented in the first page. The captions and then the pulled quotes. So here we have a headline of spilled beans. The subheadline in this case, the tragedy in period 2. And we've got our body copy, our captions, and again, our pulled quotes. So when we put that together as a two-page spread, again, you wouldn't really have rules on your to be written in your yearbook, but you do have rules that you use in your yearbook, and this is the other document. And I hope that really helps you out. And if there's any questions, by all means, let me know. Let me know what comes up in the comments. If you've got my contact info, by all means, feel free to send me an email or give me a call. Again, it's Yearbook guy Nabil. I'm super excited to be bringing you these tips and all the others that help your yearbook become the best that it can be. Subscribe, like, be my friend. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Take care.